So, everybody, we are now live. Welcome. My name is Jack from tofluency.com. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about language schools. We're going to talk about whether going to a language school can help you improve your English. So, we'll look at the main features of going to a language school, the advantages of doing this, the disadvantages of doing this, and other ways that you can improve your English. Now, if you're watching the replay, know that this is being recorded live right now. So, Sai is here, Tong Wei is here, Lily Pink, Almagia, I'm so excited, that's fantastic. Kolizi is here from Azerbaijan, Tayan is asking how I am, Kien Mahdi Siti is here as well. Alukar is here. Elva. Rejai, Ilkin. So many people are here. Hanan, Tayan, Komjit. Fantastic. So, great. Just let me know how the video and audio are, okay? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Again, we're going to talk about language schools today and whether going to a language school is going to help you improve your English. And I want you, if you are watching live, to tell me about your experiences doing this. Tell me about whether you've been to a language school before, whether you think these help as well. So many people are here. I can't read everyone's name. I see Amir is here. People are saying the video is okay. Christian is here from Chile. Barbara from Brazil. It's been a while. I haven't done a YouTube video for about a week, and I haven't done a live lesson for 2 weeks. Sickness. People in our family get sick. When you have children, you get sick. I wasn't sick for 7 years, and then we had children. And I'm sick about once a month at the moment, but I'm trying to find ways to help with that. And actually, my wife and I talked about that in a conversational lesson. Check it out on my YouTube channel. But welcome, it's great to have you here. If you're watching the replay or live, there are 73 people watching live right now. I will say hi to Brazil. Hello, Brazil. There's a couple of things I want to share before we get started. I think this is becoming more and more important to turn on notifications for my videos. So I just got a notification saying, watch live now to Fluency. Will going to a language school help your English? I got a reminder 30 minutes before the lesson. So subscribe. Showed you a picture on the screen how to do this. Subscribe and then get notifications. So get notified when I go live, when I upload a new video. And that way you won't miss out. You won't miss my lessons. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about today. Will going to a language school help your English? Will going to a language school help your English? Now, I used to teach in a language school in Valencia, Spain. I also taught business lessons in Bilbao, in Spain as well. So I have experience teaching lessons. I also have experience going to language schools to learn a language, to learn Spanish and French. And what we're going to do is talk about language lessons at schools, and I want you to give me your feedback as well, okay? I want you to leave me some comments here telling me what you think, because this is a community. So will going to a language school help your English? One more thing, if you don't have this book, go get it now. The 5-step plan for English fluency. To fluency.com/book. You can go and download that for free. There is a link in the description too. So, the typical language school lesson is one teacher and 5, 10, or 30 or more students. When I taught in Spain, there were about 10 to 15 students in each class. For the teenagers, no, 10 to 20, 25, something like that. But I think this picture is a good summary. This is what a traditional language lesson looks like. You can see all the students here. They're all female. It's the only picture I could find that I didn't have to pay for. So you can see all these students here, and they're obviously learning from a teacher. So this is a typical classroom setting. In these classes, you have a textbook. Okay, so it's very common to have a textbook and to go through the textbook. Page 1. Look at the grammar. Take some exercises. Do some practice. Do a listening. Those types of things. But the textbook is something that is there and the teacher uses and you use as a student. Usually these lessons are weekly. So sometimes they're twice a week, but generally speaking, they are weekly lessons. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. or every Thursday at 6 p.m. Sometimes they are twice a week, but generally speaking, they are weekly lessons. Before I continue, it's important to say, very important to say, not every school is the same. So different schools have different ways of teaching English. But like I just said, these are the main principles, the main features. One student, a lot of teachers, textbook, weekly lessons. Okay, let's see what people are saying in the chat. Because I know you guys are probably, logo. No logo. Logo. Okay. Let's see what people are saying. I think it couldn't take a chance to speak and communicate with English speakers or teachers. If I have any mistakes, somebody could correct words. I don't like textbooks, says Lily Pink. Guys, let me know your opinions on... Don't leave your email in the chat box. I don't like that. Let me know your opinion on this. In Vietnam, student studies English, not for them, just to study for good grade. That's interesting as well. That's another feature of a language school, is that a lot of the time, teachers are under pressure to get good grades. And I'll tell you a story about that soon. Okay. Hanai, sorry, I haven't experienced a language school, so I'm here to hear feedback too. Jihoon, as for me, I used to study English in school from Korea, but it was only focused for getting English scores because many business companies want to get English scores. Very good. Okay, so let's see if anyone else has said. I think 5 students is very good. This is Sarah. Thank you for being here. 30 students is very difficult to practice pronunciation. What do you think about a number of students? Yeah, good question. And Flores is very strong in his opinion here. Language school is such a rip-off. Great phrase, rip-off. If something is a rip-off, it means you pay more money than what it's worth. Okay, it's such a rip-off. So you're saying you're not getting what you need to get for your money. Okay, very good. So I think somebody brought up, or 2 people brought up, they said a couple of really interesting things about a lot of language schools focus on the exam. They focus on the test. They focus on the scores that you can get. Okay, and when I taught in Valencia, that was a big focus of our language school. And I think this happens a lot with language schools, whether they want this to happen or they don't. So let's say you are a parent and you have a 13-year-old daughter. Okay, her name is Sarah. You think, okay, I want Sarah to learn English. I want her to be really good at English. So she has some lessons at school, but you want to send her to a language school in order for her to improve, in order for her to have a high level of English. And the way that you know that Sarah is improving is through the exam results. So if she got 100 out of 100 on the exam, the teacher can say, Sarah is doing really well. Okay? If she got 40 out of 100, then you can say, Sarah, you need to improve. You need to improve your English. You need to try harder. Okay, so a lot of language schools put that as a focus. And it changes the way teachers teach. I think this is important. It changes the way teachers teach. It changes the way teachers teach. It's a cool little phrase. So it changes the way that teachers teach because they have this focus on the exam instead of a focus on being creative, doing other things, etc. So I think that's a really important point. That the fact that exams play a big role here. They are an important part of this. So if you're just joining, we're talking about language schools. Welcome to you. One teacher, a lot of students. This is what a typical language school looks like. You have a textbook, you have weekly lessons. Not every school is the same, however. And a lot of focus is put on exams. In fact, let me make that slide for you. Exam focus. So the question, I've got two questions. Is this the most effective way to learn? And is the investment worth it? So someone said before, it's a rip-off. So that person doesn't think that this investment is worth it because he thinks it's a rip-off. But another thing to think about too is whether this is the most effective way to learn English. So two things. Effective can be thought about in terms of time. Are you spending your time in the right way? And is the investment, is the money you pay worth the results? Is the money you pay worth the results? So, guys, I want you to answer these questions. Do you think going to a language school is worth it? Let's bring up the comments. I don't like textbooks to learn English. Hanny says no. Pagay says no. Let's not talk about WhatsApp right now. Let's focus. Let's focus on the question. Okay, is going to a language school worth it? Do you think it's a good idea to spend your money and your time on going to a language school? And if you're watching the replay, let me know in the comment section below. Pegway says, I like to talk with people. In India, everybody wants to go abroad after taking the IELTS exam. Amir says, wrap off. Do you mean a rip-off? A rip-off. Birgit, learning English in school is good for understanding grammar. Sandra, I go twice a week to the official language school in Mallorca, and we are 15 people in the class. Lessons are okay, but it isn't enough to improve your English. That's why I'm here. Really good point. I'm going to talk about that really soon. Is it the EOI? EOI. Is that the official language school? Talk with native people helps. Very cool. Do you know Middlebury Language School? It costs a lot of money. I don't. It's not about the investment, but it's all about the determination of the student. Masudrana says yes. I've learned English for 10 years at school, but now I have to learn English again for beginning because teachers teach completely wrong about pronunciation and they only teach grammar. That's very common in a lot of language schools. The other thing is, in a language school, because you have one teacher and a lot of students, you can't have that focus on speaking. The focus is more on grammar because it's easier to teach a lot of people that. Nabajit, you're doing a great job. Thank you. I think English class live with native is more effective. So you're talking one-to-one. I spent 30,000 RMB to study English in training school. My son attended for 4 years in language schools but couldn't speak. Finally, I took a private teacher and after 1 year he could speak very well. Sandra is saying, yes, EOI. Yeah, it's a very popular language school in Spain. It's hard to get in, I think. Studying school is so academic. I'm learning English from a language school. I do not think English school is a good idea to improve your English. In terms of speaking language, in a language school you don't have the opportunity to speak 10 minutes. Yeah. Another feature of a language school is that you don't get that opportunity to speak. Usually the teacher will introduce some grammar. Then you do some writing in your textbook. Then everyone might say something. Then you listen. You do some writing, etc. And one thing is, I want to say is a lot of this can be done at home. If you're doing a textbook style course and you like textbooks, you can always do that at home as well. Well, let's have a look. Let's go to the next part of this, where I'm going to talk about some of the advantages and some of the disadvantages. So for some people, it's the curriculum. They want a very specific way of learning English. And the curriculum just means what you're going to learn, what you're going to study. And by getting a textbook, you have a very specific thing to study. So you don't need to worry about, should I learn this? Should I learn that? Etc. You learn what the textbook tells you to learn. The other thing that people like about language schools is that it's consistent. If you pay for a language school for 10 weeks or a year at language school, every Thursday at 7 o'clock, most people stay consistent with it. They go every week. The other thing is the community. You're in a group of people who are all learning English with you. So you're all learning English together in a way that sometimes can be fun. You have that community element to it. So a lot of people like this. They like that community. So again, these are some positives for some people. Curriculum, you have that textbook. It's consistent. It's every week or twice a week. And you have the community. However, this is what I want to say as some negatives for a language school. It can be really slow, a slow pace. And I think that the key is this. If you go to a language school every week, and if that's all you do, then you're going to progress at a very slow pace. For other people, a negative can be the curriculum, the textbook. Because a lot of people say, textbooks don't really help in real life. Okay? They don't help in real life. Because you learn language that is from a textbook, but not the language people use every day. And I think the key is this. Going to language classes is not enough on their own. This is the key. If you go to language classes, it's not enough. It's not enough, okay? So let's just go to the chat box and I'm going to talk about different ways that you can learn and my conclusion about this, my conclusion about it. Ingrid, the methodology of each institute is unique. The student needs to know if the methodology can work for them. In that case, it is good. You can have fun and socialize. Yeah, definitely. A lot of places are really different. And I think I mentioned that earlier, that one language school might focus on a textbook. Another one, it might be a drama style language school where you're constantly using your English, not just learning it or being taught the language. You're constantly using it. Okay, guys, don't put numbers in here. Don't put numbers. No numbers, no emails. Okay, I need some people, I feel, as moderators. Let's see. Ingrid, you've been commenting a lot. I'm going to add you as a moderator. And then Ingrid, if you see people put their email or their phone number, then just delete them. Okay. Let's see. Let's just go back. Jackie's sleeping. I am. I'm not sleeping. You're right. I've spent 6 months at my language class, but not getting fluency in English. Yeah. I think that's the key. People rely on language schools. They put all the responsibility onto the teacher, onto the language school. So they say, okay, I have spent this money for this language school. Now you teach me English. And that's it. And I saw this happen all the time with my students in Spain. I wanted to help my students and say, guys, coming to this language school is not enough. You have to do things at home. You have to get into the habit of using your English. You have to use other methods too. But what they did was they just came to class, they did the class, they did the exercises for homework, and that was it. That was it. Okay. Birgit says, the best is using the language every day at work. I had courses, we studied different articles and answered questions about it. It was great to discuss topics together, not so scary. Very cool. Cesar says, it's very important to find the opportunity to practice your speaking in order to reach fluency. Long time no see. It's been a while, Jihad. It's been quite a while. So, let's just go back to this. There are different ways that you can learn English too. You can study grammar on your own. So if you want to learn grammar, you can get a textbook, you can get a grammar book and study this on your own. You can watch YouTube videos on grammar as well. One of my favourite ways, the easiest way to do stuff in English, to use it, to learn, is to listen to things in English. And I'm sure all of you are doing this now. If you're not listening to English every day, start doing it now. If you are listening to English every day, do more. Do more. Practice speaking. Practice speaking. So this might be through a language exchange. It might be through a teacher. It might be one-to-one lessons. It might be using my method. But speaking is going to help you as well. And all these are things that you can do without a language school. You can study grammar, you can listen to English, and you can practice speaking. The other way is to use my method. Okay, use my method to make really good progress. And if you're new to my method, I'll leave the link in the chat box. I'm just going to put to fluency.com/speaking. So go to fluency.com/speaking. But this is where you take phrases, you listen to the phrase, you repeat them, you record your own voice and compare it to the original so that you can sound much more like the original audio and you can get your feedback yourself. Then you get long-term repetition so that phrase comes out naturally and in a flexible way. Okay? So you can find out more about that at fluency.com/speaking. A lot of people have been following this method for a few months now and they love it. They love it. So you can use my method too. And if you want to get the full method, go to fluency.com/TFP. That's my program where you'll be able to learn the full method, but also get the audio and the materials, those things that you need in order to make really, really fast progress, especially with your speaking and listening. So definitely check that out. But I want to just summarize it a little bit by saying this. If you want to make fast progress, you have to take control over your learning. And I think a better preposition here is of. You have to take control of your learning. You have to take control of the way you learn English. Okay? So if you want to make fast progress, you have to take control. You have to take responsibility. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to a language school once a week. I'm going to a language school once a week. Therefore, I'm learning English. That's not enough. If you want to make fast progress, you have to take control of your learning. And the key is also, only going to a language school won't make a big difference. So if you only go once a week or twice a week to a language school and that's all you do, it's not going to make a big difference. It's not going to make a big difference. The key again is to take control of your learning, to do things like listen to English, to study on your own, to practice speaking in a natural way, and to use my method. And again, go to fluency.com/TFP to learn more about this. And if you are considering going to a language school, ask yourself this question. Is this the most effective way to learn, in your opinion? And is the investment worth it? Is the money you spend on this worth it? So those are two questions you need to ask yourself. But again, the key is, if you want to make fast progress, you have to take control of your learning. Okay, so on that note, please let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay, if you guys have any questions. Hanai says, what is the method? I'll leave that link again. In fact, that should work. Click that link. You can learn more about my method here. And if you want to purchase the program and get the materials like the audio files and the memory cards, then go to fluency.com/TFP. The first link is like an introduction to the method and ways that you can use this on your own. And then this is my premium stuff here. How can I master phonetics and pronunciation stuff? Using this method, because what you can do, well, firstly, let's slow down. What you can do is learn the sounds of English and know what to do with your mouth to make like the ch, sh, the difference between the ch, sh sounds, or the v and f, the v and the f sounds. Learn all those different things. The schwa sound, the computer, Learn what you need to do with your mouth in order to make those sounds. Then get feedback. Make these sounds, record yourself, and make changes. Make any changes you need to make. Learning the sounds is only one part of this. You also need to learn things like intonation, linking words, stress. Okay? So, for example, words linked together. I wanted it. I wanted it. I wanted it. I wanted it. Wanted it. Wanted it. And you can tell the intonation and the rhythm in that as well. I wanted it. I wanted it. And the stress. I wanted it. I wanted it. I wanted it. So you need to learn how to do that as well. And again, you can practice that by listening to the sounds, getting feedback, and then making changes. And I have a full pronunciation tutorial inside this as well. So I go through all the sounds of English, the vowels, the consonants, I go through intonation, the stress, and all those different things. Is it important to learn phonetics? I think so. I think it is. Well, learn as well as when people say learn, they think study. Some people can just listen and repeat perfectly. They can listen to an accent and repeat it perfectly. They can listen to a different language and repeat it as well. But I'd say it's important to get better at phonetics. It's important to improve your ability to use it properly. Sorry, I'm reading comments. Erasmus, I purchased your method with a payment plan. However, I'm thinking to pay the remaining in full. Impossible. How can I do this? Yeah, just send me an email, jack@fluency.com, and I can send you an invoice to pay the remainder of this. Have you tried to study any languages before? Let's say, can you speak Korean or Japanese? I know 0 Japanese and 0 Korean, but I do know Spanish. Yeah, I do know Spanish. And yeah, I don't know. I might learn some French too soon. Hi Jack, I'm from Brazil. Thank you for your help. You're a great professor. Thank you so much. Do I need to learn a lot of idioms and phrasal verbs? I mean, yes, but don't focus on like, oh, I need to learn all the phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are just like part of your vocabulary. Just learn them as you learn them. Yeah, that will help. Could I learn English by listening only? Some people think you can. Some people think you can. There's like some kind of method where you go through a silent period for a really long time. You just listen and listen and listen and listen and listen and listen. Maybe for a year, like 5 hours a day for a year. And then you start speaking. But I just think listen to English as much as possible. My preferred method, way to learn English is this. You listen as much as possible. You use my method to really help your fluency and also your memory and your knowledge of words and grammar. Then you get natural practice too. I feel like that's a really good combination. ¿Qué tal estás? I mean, yeah, you can speak a little bit of Spanish. Maybe you can speak a lot. Let's see. My IELTS test is in September the 6th. I'm so worried. Any tips? Yeah, firstly, know why you're so worried. Like, ask yourself, why am I so worried? Why should I be worried? And just observe that. And then as for tips, you've only got a week. So do as much as possible before the exam. And then enjoy it. Want to hear your original speaking style now, not presentation style, just for a sec. It's hard to do because I have to act. Let's just pretend I'm going to call someone, okay? And then I'll see. You tell me if this sounds natural or not. Hey, how's it going? Not too bad. I'm just wondering what we're going to do later. Should we go meet up at the sandwich station, or are you thinking something else? Cool? No, that sounds good. Sounds good. Should I pick up Thomas? Yep, I can go get him. How's your day been? That's good. Just doing a live lesson. Just showing an example of how I normally speak on the phone. No, yeah, everything's good. Cool. Well, yeah, I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Did you think I was actually on the phone? That's like how I speak normally on the phone. It's pretty similar to how I speak now. Sometimes it's different as well. Like when I'm talking to friends and we're talking about, if we're drunk and we're watching sport, it's really different. If I'm meeting somebody for the first time at Thomas's school, my son's school, then I speak in a different way. So it just changes all the time. It changes all the time. Which is better, using slang English or formal English? It just depends on the situation. It just depends on the situation. I always say, like, when it comes to slang, don't force it. Too many people, I'm just going to get the chat up, try to use slang when it doesn't really work. And slang is very specific. Asking the question, how are you? How are you? You could ask that to anyone. But if you say, sup, what's up, what's up? That's only used for very specific people in specific situations. And remember, a lot of slang is between friends, between close friends. That's what a lot of slang is used for. So be careful when you use it. Rasmus has a really good question. Do you agree that SRS and Anki are too time consuming? Sometimes I have 500, 600 cards waiting to be reviewed. Yeah, basically what you're doing is you're adding new cards too quickly. I would delete a lot of cards and build this up slowly over time. That's why I talk about in the section in my program to say go really slowly with this. Just add about 5 new cards every day. Study 5 new cards every day. And then take a little break and just review for a while. Because otherwise, you end up having 500 to 600 cards and it's not fun. And you're like, oh, got to study these cards. The idea is to build it slowly because all those cards have to be reviewed later. Rezova, I haven't played soccer in a while, but I'm going to start playing again next week. And I'm so excited about doing it. Okay. Well, this has been a really fun lesson for me. Let's just go over a couple of things. Bring up the keynote again. So, again, if you're new here, and if you haven't clicked that notification button, then go do that now. Because this will send you a notification every time I go live. Every time I go live or every time I upload a new video, you'll get a notification saying, To Fluency has a new video. Watch it. Or To Fluency is going live in 30 minutes. Go watch it. So you guys do that now. If you don't have my book yet, tofluency.com/book, go get it now. And then tofluency.com/TFP to get my full method, all the materials, resources, that full pronunciation tutorial. And coming soon, how to learn grammar in a very natural way. So go check that out. And I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Okay, so everyone, thank you so much for being here. Angelica says, I can't believe it's over. Well, I'll be back again very soon. So again, thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Come join me on Facebook, on Twitter, all those different places. And I'll speak to you all soon. Okay, bye for now.